Buddy, buddy, do you like the bike? Do you like it? Can you sit on it? There you go. Yeah. Oh, no, don't scratch the seat. Hey. Resale value, brother. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got a commuter style e-bike from Luckeep. This is the X2, and this is the 2024 model. The biggest change on the 2024 model is that they went from a 27.5-inch tire down to a 26-inch tire, and they also changed the width from 2.4 to 3 inches. Let's go over some of the specs real quick so we take it out for a spin. There's a 750 watt motor in the back that peaks at 1200 watts. It gives you 80 newton meters of torque. 20 amp hour battery on a 48 volt system. This bike is rocking a torque sensor, half twist throttle, IPS display. They give you a phone mount for free. Hydraulic brake levers with adjustment screw, 160 millimeter rotor, and the brake caliper. Preload adjustment on the left side, ABS adjustable lockout on the right side. The handlebar have a nice setup to raise it up and down. Comfortable seat, really feels good. Underneath the seat, I can see some springs, so it's definitely gonna help. Adjustable kickstand. A look at our back brake setup. You get a bike rack included in the rear, which holds up to 25 kilograms. You get fenders front and back, and they are metal. Brake light with a license plate bracket underneath it. 8-speed in the back with our derailleur guard, and it's looking like it's Shimano Tourney TX. On the front wheel, you do have a quick release just in case you need to take that off, fit it in the car, or you get a flat. Makes it very easy. On the right hand side of the bike, this is where you pop this little cover off and charge it. Your 3 amp charger. There's a motor quick disconnect on the left hand side. Suspension front fork. Here's a look at your grips and your button layout. Here's your headlight button to push it on and off. You do get turn signals on this bike. They're only in the rear, but not super visible. Underneath that, you get a horn. Now what's cool about this bike is that the 20 amp hour battery is going to be efficient for most people out there, but if you want more range out of this bike, you do have an option to do a second battery and a third battery. The second battery would sit right here where these 3 screws are at. You take this off, put the battery right here on the rail, and the cable that comes off of that will plug in right down to this port right here, making it very easy and convenient. And if anyone was curious to know, it's very easy to pop the battery out. Do that. It's still not going to drop out. You do have a lever you got to move, and then bam, the battery will come out. You just got to make sure to move the handlebars, and then putting the battery in is the same way. Just make sure you don't pinch your fingers in here and close it. You're good to go. Now let's check out the lights on this bike. Now you do have a dedicated headlight button, which is very nice, but I gotta say, looking at the headlight itself, I don't know how the camera's gonna catch this, but I know it's gonna probably brighten this headlight up a little bit. It's not good though. Looking at it in my garage, it could be better. The brake light is also worse than the headlight. I can see it when I hit the brake levers. It looks great when I'm holding it like this, but when you're just riding, you can't see that. If you guys want to get a better idea how that looks, like look, can you guys even see that very well? When you hit it, it's great. When you're not hitting it and you're just riding, hopefully someone's gonna be able to see that. So let's move on to the weight and capacity of this bike. So it weighs 70 pounds, and I gotta say it is pretty easy to lift up. It feels well balanced because you got a decent sized motor in the back, but you also have a big battery up here, so it doesn't feel like it's leaning either way. And this bike does hold up to 330 pounds, so that's not too bad. And I like the fact that it's a step-through design, so it's gonna make it easier for people to get on and off the bike, especially if you're shorter or you have back issues and you can't put it all the way around, especially if you have some cargo in the back. So kind of coming like this and sliding over, and you can see that I am sitting on it perfectly fine. Now this is the seat on the lowest position it will go. I'm 5'9", but you can also raise it if you're about 6 foot. It goes pretty high, and I'll show you guys that. It also has numbers on here too from 1 to 12, and this is as high as you can put it safely. And yeah, so if you're a taller rider, then yeah, okay, there you go. Very, very high. Now here's a look at that IPS display. We're gonna get into the custom settings right now. So if you hold the 2 plus and minus buttons together for about 5 seconds, it comes through, and you can clear the trip. You can go to exit if you need to. Scan QR code so you can get the app on your phone, and then you can adjust some stuff there. And then you can get the system info. You get the password if you want. You can do the time, speed limit. We have it at 31 miles an hour. That's as high as it will go. You also have auto headlight to turn on and off, so you can do that. That's nice. And then you have cruise control. We're gonna leave cruise control on. Auto power off, I changed it from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. And then the brightness of the backlight, I changed that. and units, we're gonna have mile per hour instead of kilometers per hour, and that's pretty much it. And to get back, you just hold these 2 buttons again, and you're good to go. All right, so that should be everything you need to know about this bike, and we're gonna put the action cam on, go out there, do some tests, and see if it's worth it by the end of this video. All right, guys, this is my first actual time on the bike. Now, some cool things that I noticed right off the bat is the seat is absolutely comfortable. What a nice seat to sit on if you're gonna ride this bike for miles and miles. And cruise control as well. Brakes, on the other hand, not that great. Now, their website says 180 millimeter rotors, but this bike only has 160 millimeter rotors, so I actually think it should have came with 180 millimeter rotors. It didn't stop very good right there. But what I noticed right off the bat that I like is that I love how this looks. I like the fact that I can see the mile per hour on there, and I can see the power coming onto the bike. So 955 watts I'm seeing right now. It tells you your battery bars too. It's very small to see, but I like that. It's pretty cool. And so far with throttle only, we're going a little bit against the wind, and I'm only able to get about 24 miles per hour. Now, I don't have my phone up here because I didn't really trust this phone mount because I have a very expensive phone, but if you guys want to try it, hey, go for it, but I'm not going to use it. But I do have the phone in my pocket, and it's recording everything, so we'll be able to see our top speed and how long we've been out here and our range and stuff like that. And I'm noticing that we're doing 25 miles per hour. All right, oh my God, I got to give myself some time to stop. But then again, I don't have not even 1 mile on this bike yet, so it is still pretty brand new. And I don't even remember if I tightened everything down, which I really hope I did, but I don't remember if I did, so let's just pray that nothing comes loose. Oh, I just noticed that. It shows the time on the screen too. It is so tiny, like way up there. That's kind of cool. It's in military time, so I'm wondering if you can change that. All right, so I switched over to the pedals really quick because I wanted to see if we'll get any higher top speed, because I've noticed that we're only hitting like 25, maybe 26. And I am not very well connected to this bike, even if it has 8 gears or whatnot. Like, my feet are moving way too fast. But there again, I'm getting the top speed out of this bike now, but I am struggling to keep my feet on the pedals. I'm moving them so fast. Oh, the brakes, come on. Oh, they need to be so much better. Definitely so much better. How's it going? Hi, Angeline. All right, so it says we did 32 miles an hour, and on here it said 29 miles an hour. All right, so what I'm trying to understand right now is this off on speed, or is it my phone that's off? But I actually think it's this, because I feel like I'm going faster than 24 miles an hour. So I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna pull my phone out and we're gonna check. So there we go, 28 miles an hour on my phone and 25 on the display. So the display is off and my phone's accurate. This is real GPS getting like 50 satellites right now. Actually, no, 30 satellites right now. All right, so we're in our designated speed test. We're gonna see how fast this bike gets up to, and I feel like I'm gonna have to pull up my phone for this since we don't have my phone up here. And let's see how fast this bike is. I don't think it's gonna reach over 27 miles an hour in this stretch of road, but let's just see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Oh, had a weird hesitation start, like it kind of jumped, then it started moving. All right, it's pretty accurate down low, but then once it passes about 14, 15 miles an hour, it just starts going a lot differently and just separating from the speed I'm seeing on the bike and the speed on my phone. But I gotta give myself some time to brake too. All right, yeah, let's just say about 23 miles an hour, because if I would have kept going, I would have probably hit 23 miles an hour. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. So not the fastest bike I've been on. It's actually pretty slow in picking up speed. All right, so I am back in the same location. We're gonna go through these gears and use the pedals, and we're gonna see if we reach a higher top speed by the end of this, since it has a torque sensor. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, ooh, there we go. Nice gradual start compared to using the throttle. All right, shifting the gears, kind of clunky, I gotta say. Doesn't feel that great. It feels like it jumps. Here we go though. 22, 23, yeah, it's a lot better if you use the pedals than the throttle. And I would have probably got up to about 26, but with these brakes and being one-handed right now, I don't trust it. But all right, so yeah, if you want to go faster, use the pedals. So the next test I want to do is ghost pedaling. Let's see when that happens. To get up as fast as we can. I feel connected to the bike. Feel connected to the bike, and I'm still connected to the bike, but I just don't feel comfortable pedaling this fast. The rotations are just, they're too much. I feel like I'm overworking my legs where I'm trying to keep my feet on the pedals. So, I don't know. It said we were doing 22 on here, which is about 25 on my phone. So it felt fine, but to try to get over 30 miles an hour seems kind of hard, and I'm wondering if we're only gonna hit that once the battery was full. Now the battery's draining, if we're even gonna hit 32 miles an hour again. All right, so now we're at our hill test, and let's use the throttle only to get up this and see how well it does. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, hesitating. Oh man, nope, it's not gonna do it. Oh yeah, let's see if it does it with the torque sensor if you pedal, because throttle only is not going to get you up that hill. So we got to go down in gear real quick, and let's see if pedaling does it. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go, pedaling. Ooh, all right, it did it, but still doesn't have that much power. Dang, this guy's hauling ass over here. You gotta love it. This is spot to be, spot to ride at. Yeah. What's up, man? So as I'm going off-road, I'm not doing a ton of off-roading on this bike. I mean, the tires are kind of made for it, but we don't really have rear suspension. But it's a little jarring. The seat is making up for a lot of like discomfort from my hands being smacked around from the front suspension. It's not bottoming out or anything like that. I feel like it's just not plush enough in the front. And it's really starting to hurt my hands. Gloves would definitely come in handy. I always wear gloves on all my bikes, but on reviews, I try to feel how the bike is naturally with the grips and everything like that. So that's why I don't have gloves on right now. But yeah, the only thing that's really gonna help that is gloves, but it's really not that comfortable off-road, surprisingly. I thought it was gonna be better than that. Now, the next thing I like to do on my video reviews is a turning test. A lot of people don't understand why, but I feel like you need to understand how the bike turns and handles and corners. And I gotta say, this is a fantastic bike. Not much effort goes into turning, feels very solid. I don't feel like I'm gonna slip out because these tires are very knobby. Now, it doesn't turn as good as a 2023 model if you ever been on that one because it had smaller tires. But I gotta say, this is definitely helping with comfort by having a little bit more wider of a tire. This feels very good in the hands, no issues whatsoever. You can also make U-turns pretty easy as well. You just wanna come through and bam, just turn just like that. You could probably even make a U-turn like very sharp. Let's see if I can stay on the other side of this line. Yeah, there you go. Most bikes will not allow you to turn like that because they have stoppers and they'll be like this, but this one goes all the way around until it almost hits the headlight, so pretty good. Now the next thing we gotta do is our brake test, and we need to try to get up to as max speed as possible, so I gotta go as fast as I possibly can to get up there. Now, if we're at about 25 miles an hour on here, or 24, that's about 28 miles an hour. I'm doing my best, guys. We gotta make these tests even on all these e-bikes we do. I'm going at a decent speed, maybe 26. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. I was going slower than most of my other e-bikes, and this is the line. This line right here, if you can see it, it's a little spray painted line. If I stop there or behind, it's a really good e-bike. This bike isn't stopping very well. This thing needs 180 millimeter rotors or better brake discs, pads, something. It needs something. So far, since I've been out here, almost 20 minutes, we went 5 miles, average speed 16 miles an hour, max speed 32. So hey, they say you can get 32 miles an hour after you unlock it. I showed you guys how to do it, very easy in the settings. But without further ado, I'm gonna take a picture of this thing and get back on the road. Now the next thing I like to do is the throttle response. Let's see how fast it is, because I did not see any setting in here to change that. And by the way, this is not touchscreen if you guys are wondering. I thought it was at first. I was like, oh cool, I can move some stuff. It doesn't, you have to use these buttons. But anyways, let's see how fast the pedals work. 1, 2, 3. All right, not too bad. Let me drop down a gear so I'm more in line of moving the pedals faster. So let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, pedals are instant. Now the power isn't full on give you all the power. It kind of ramps up, but this thing doesn't really have power to begin with. I'm just being honest with you guys. It really needs more power. So anyway, let's try out the throttle response now. 1, 2, 3. It's instant. Wow, that was actually like spot on instant. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Not a single lag in it. As soon as you move it, it's taken off. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. It feels like it gives me more power this way when you're rolling. I'm obviously kind of going downhill a little bit, but the pedals will give you more top speed faster, where I feel like the throttle kind of tops out and tapers, but if you want to get to 30, 32 miles an hour, whatever, you have to pedal. You definitely have to pedal in this bike. You can't use the throttle up to that speed. It wasn't working for me. Like right now it says 24, I'm probably doing about 28. So as I'm riding this thing for a little bit, I'm trying to think of the pros and cons of it, and I gotta say one of the biggest pros right now is the seat. I'm loving the seat, it's very comfortable. It reminds me of a Cloud 9 seat, something you can pick up at your local bicycle store or you can buy it on Amazon. I had that on one of my bikes and it was lovely. The seat is great. The grips, I mean, they are what they are. There's really nothing to them, but they're not killing me. The throttle feels fine, no issues. I like the fact that the throttle isn't much bigger than the grip. I love the cruise control. I like the fact that this bike just feels just nice and casual cruising. But if you were to go off-road, this is not a very good bike for that. Suspension isn't very good when you hit bumps. Handlebar placement is great. Fenders is definitely keeping dirt and all that kind of stuff off of me. The button layout over here is pretty cool. I love that you have a dedicated headlight button right here, and I love the turn signals, even though they're not bright though. And then the horn down here that you have. Some people might be able to hear you. Yeah, he can hear me. Yeah, he can hear me. So maybe it's louder than others. It does sound pretty good out here. It's not too bad. The shifter is kind of clunky though. Not a big fan of that. One of the biggest cons about this bike so far, I think, is the inconsistency of getting to top speed. It's really hard to do that. Right now, I'm holding 27 miles an hour, which is probably around 30 or 31 miles an hour. This feels pretty good. I just don't understand why it's so hard to get up there. It's like really slow. And the brakes. Even though I have more miles on this bike now, the brakes still aren't like the best. And the jerkiness of it starting, I don't know what's up with that. The more you're on an incline or something like that, it really hesitates to start. I don't understand. It's like putting the power into the motor. It just hesitates to go. I have no idea why it's doing that. The cable management is good, I gotta say, and the step-through design is beautiful. I like it. The color's great on it. It's nice and glossy. I had a little bit of damage on mine on the side, just a few nicks, but nothing crazy. I don't think I'd be too mad about that. But it's unfortunate. They don't really pack these bikes with a lot of packaging, so just keep that in mind. If you guys have a bad FedEx driver or UPS driver, mine came through FedEx. Just be careful that if they flip up your bike upside down and whatnot, it's probably not going to be protected very well, because there was not much to remove from these boxes, which made it very nice for my garbage can, but it didn't make it nice for protecting the bike. They did what they could, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more in packaging wise. But so far, I mean, it's a cool, solid bike just to kind of roam around in. Had to pull up my phone real quick and see that we have done 7.3 miles, and the battery says it's at 95%. You guys probably not even gonna be able to see that. And our power right now is around 300 to 400 watts while just kind of on it, trying to hold a solid 20 miles an hour. That's not too bad. Now, the biggest thing is gonna come down to if you wanna spend the type of money on this bike, because it's coming in at $15.99. And my honest perspective of this thing is, for $15.99, this bike needs more power. I don't know how else to feel. I'm not trying to sell bikes. I'm not trying to, discredit the company or anything like that. They have some cool features on it. The fact that you can put a second battery on and it has the connectors right there so you can add it and take it off if you want. That's super cool. There are some cool features on this bike, but $15.99 and it feels kind of slow. Like, for the average person, maybe you'll be okay. But for someone that wants a bike that does 28 miles an hour and gets there pretty quickly, I just feel like there could have been more power added to it. I'm not feeling an extra 1,200 watts. I've never even seen 1,200 watts on here, and this thing is unlocked to maximum power, so not exactly sure on that. But it's cool, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more other bikes out there, and hey, if you guys are really interested in this thing, it's not like it's a terrible bike. I would say I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, just because it has that extra battery option to put up here, and overall the bike isn't bad on the components they put on here. I gotta say, they're not as high quality as like a $3,000 e-bike, but this isn't a $3,000 e-bike. This is like a sub, $1,000 to $2,000 e-bike. It's right in the middle. So you guys gotta decide if it's something you like or not. The step-through design is pretty cool, and Yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for watching. You guys are the true MVPs. Normally I do a full outro to this video, but it's running really late, and I pretty much just told you everything you guys need to know on the Luckeep X2. Now stay tuned to my video, subscribe, because I will be doing a second video on this thing when we take it probably to work, or maybe I'll just ride it at night, and we'll see how the headlight looks, we'll see how the turn signals look, we'll see how the brake light looks, and just have some more fun on it. So again, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I'll make sure not to charge this bike, so it'll be more of a range test as well, because right now we got 7 miles and 93% battery left. All right, thanks, man, appreciate it. Buddy, do you like the bike? Do you like it? Can you sit on it? There you go. Yeah. Oh, no, don't scratch the seat. Hey. Resale value, brother.